Hello, my name is Emily Cullen and I'm the Mescal UL50 Poet in Residence at the University of Limerick's Creative Writing programme. Together with students from the MA in Creative Writing, we're delighted to bring you a series of Espresso Shots of Thought, commencing in International Poetry Month, the month of April. What inspired me to devise these short segments was a quote by the British Indian poet Daljit Nagra, who stated that poetry is an espresso shot of thought. So we invite you now to relax and enjoy an insightful jolt of poetry from the University of Limerick.
Writing a good poem is a bit like making a good stock for soup. I start with the blank page or the empty pot, and into this goes a carcass of chicken or the scaffolding of the poem that has been stirring in the oven of my mind. I add in the vegetables next, a puree of metaphor, rhyme, alliteration, music, sensual imagery, fresh words, new words, words that work. I let them all simmer away together, and in the case of a stock, this can take a few days, but for my poetry can take many years. Then it's time to edit, get the stock back on the heat and reduce to its correct consistency to get the right taste. Adjectives are deleted, a line break is tinkered with, I pair images I'd loved but that don't fit anymore, and I play with the careful seasoning of punctuation and seek the successful saltiness of a last line. My poem, Stillborn, took over 20 years to simmer and is based on my own experience as a young mother. And the theme of grief peppers a lot of my poetry. It helps me make sense of life. In 2018, the Irish Times published this poem, and more recently, Neil Astley included it in his anthology with Blood Axe, Staying Human. The two-word title, Stillborn, emphasises not only the traditional one-word stillborn, but the important fact that my little Shifra was still born. Stillborn in memory of Shifra, January the 14th, 1994. She whispers my name often, the one she gave me after. No one hears but the worn out Jesus on the swinging crucifix of her fingered beads. Fingers that wound the wool, one plain, one pearl for the promise of me. She stitched my shape into cardigans I'd never wear, buttonholes my eyes peeped through in her nightly dreams. I never was, just slipped into her waiting arms with the cold absence of sound. In some deep recess of her loss, her name for me nestles in her throat. Shadows play games with her. Sometimes I skip like a dropped stitch across the flapping screen of her washed out bloody sheets. Loss her repeating pattern, each cycle, each moon, each year. Her cry, the only cry, born still, but still born, an almost